to everyone. I can see Madheka Mweni. You are saying hi too, and I'm so excited to see all of you once again on the Financial Friday program. I believe you are doing well in the Lord wherever you are, and that you are keeping safe. Just as you are about to start, I'd encourage you to tag your friends, bring your pen and paper, and most of all, prepare your question, as today we are going to discuss on, or we are going to check on how to know if your business idea is viable. So tag your friends. I'll put some worship music, praise song in the background as you wait for more people to join in. Remember to tag your friends who are in the group, and you could meanwhile send a hi and maybe say where you're watching this live session from. So meanwhile, let's enjoy this song. It's called You Are Good and Your Mercy is Forever. I believe it's going to bless all of us, as we really have to thank God for giving us another chance to see another day. I believe most of us are healthy, and maybe if you are sick somewhere, we pray that you get healing in Jesus' name. So let's keep inviting, let's keep joining, as we shall be starting in a few minutes, maybe in 2 or 3 minutes time. Meanwhile, keep on coming, and of course share with us where you're watching this live session from. So I can see most of you are still joining in. Keep on coming on board so that we can start right away. I can tell you we have a lot of things to discuss on today, because last week we discussed on how to identify a business opportunity, and one thing that came out, or one thing that we learned, all of us, is you need to identify a market need, or simply put, you need to solve a certain problem in the market you're targeting. Now I believe through that live session, most of you, based on the feedback that I got, you got to learn why you started a business some years back and maybe it did not work out. Most likely you were not satisfying a certain market need. So in today's live session, we are going to see how do you check the viability of your business idea. So maybe you have this noble business idea, and you believe you are going to satisfy a specific market need, but you need to check how viable is the business idea. There are some business ideas, they sound so good in paper, but when we come to measure them in terms of if they are viable in the marketplace, you'll find that they are not viable at all. So I'll give us the things, or what we use to check if a business idea is viable, so that when you go out there, when you're about to launch your business idea in the marketplace, you can first of all measure it through these points that I will be giving you today. Then you can go ahead to execute. Remember, you don't just wake up and start a business and it becomes successful. No, there are some business laws you need to fulfill, and at the same time you need to plan and know what you expect in the marketplace and what you need to check on so that you can succeed. I can see Gereso, you're saying thanks here in Dubai, blessed mom, you are the most high God. Yes, the song is you are the most high God, and I believe you are doing well wherever you are. Kelvin, thank you so much for joining us today. I encourage you to keep on joining us as we shall get to discuss on part 2. Remember part 1 we started with the question, I have XX amount, what business can I start? And I said for a business to be successful, it needs to fulfill the main business law, which is satisfying a market need or solving a certain problem in a certain market. So today we'll see how do I know if my business idea is viable before I execute it. So as I said, there are quite a number of points. As I was just noting them down, I realized I have like 7 points, and I also want to give you a chance to ask me as many questions as possible. I believe we can start right away so that we can at least have time to have a QA session where you can ask as many questions as possible. Meanwhile, as the live session is progressing, I would encourage you to keep on posting your questions so that towards the Q&A session it will be easier for me to be able to answer it. And another thing I would like to encourage us, for any comment, any question, any feedback you want to give, please ensure it is in English so that we can all benefit, as we understand that this group is it's a group that has different nationalities. So if you post your content, comment, question in English, it will be able to benefit every person. So I can see in Violeta Favor, thank you so much for joining in. Marble, thank you so much for joining in. We shall start right away, and we'll start with a word of prayer. So I kindly ask you wherever you are to bow down your heads so that we can pray. Father, we thank you for this opportunity once again and another chance to come and discuss kingdom financial principles and business principles that can help us transform our financial and business lives, Lord. As I share with your people these principles, oh God, may you open their minds. May you give them a spirit of understanding, oh God, that the knowledge they acquire from here, my Father, they will put it into action so that they can see their lives getting transformed. We invite the Holy Spirit to take over, and we invite your presence to be with us throughout this session. And may you be glorified in everything that we discuss here. For it is in the mighty name of Jesus we do pray, trusting and believing. Amen. So we shall start right away. Thank you so much, Marble, for tuning in. As I said, today's topic is how to identify if your business idea is viable. Remember, before you start a business, as we said last week, you need to first of all ensure you are solving a problem in the market that you need to start the business. So I believe by now you had a whole week to think about all the problems that are in your market, in your geographical location, that you feel by starting a business you can solve that problem. So to all those that have always been asking, Sheila, I have XX amount, what business can I start? I am in this location, what business can I start? I believe by now you have identified a need. So we'll go to the next part, which is very, very important, where we are going to check on the tips you need to use so that you can know if your business idea is viable or not. Not all business ideas are viable. As I said at the start, there are business ideas that they sound good on paper, or they sound good when somebody says them, but when you come to check their viability in the marketplace, they are not viable. Thereby, a business cannot be started based on that business idea. So how do you get to check if your business idea is viable? We shall discuss on that today. Keep on. Caroline Karimi, thank you so much for tuning in from Kahawa West. I really appreciate your support and presence. Let's keep on tagging our friends. Most of all, ensure you have your pen and paper so that you can note down. Then later on, you can go through the points and see if your business idea is viable to be executed in the marketplace. Then definitely, if it passes the test, you can go ahead and execute it. Now, before I can go in right away, I would just like to take this opportunity to thank our admins, Mr. Diane and Ms. Akelo, for their support and the opportunity. I'd also like to thank the moderators of the group for their hard work and sacrifice they are doing every now and then to ensure we have the smooth running of this noble group. I'd also like to thank you for always being here to learn and being open to ask your questions, and definitely to get yourself into that level when it comes to financial transformation. To all those that keep on asking me, questions in my inbox, I really want to thank you for taking that noble step of going ahead and ask me questions regarding finances and businesses outside this session. I really appreciate you, and I would just like to know that I will always try my best to answer you at the earliest possible, and of course offer you with the best in class services. So for today we shall start when it comes to market checking if your business idea is when it comes to checking if your business idea is viable in the marketplace. The first thing you need to understand, you need to do, is you need to research the market. Now, researching the market entails you need to explore whether enough people are attracted to buy what you want to sell at a price that will give you a viable business. So when you have identified a business need in a certain market, you need to carry out a research of your market. The way you carry out a research, you need to explore whether there are enough people attracted to buy what you are planning to start. Now, this is where the problem comes. Remember, you need to solve a problem in the market. Now, if you research and find that you only have 2 customers or 1 customer who is unsatisfied with a certain product or service, we usually say just 1 customer is not enough to sustain your business or to make your business sustainable, with an exception of certain class of customers. I will repeat that. Just having 1 customer who you will be satisfying or you will be solving their problem is not really it's not really something that you can base on starting your business, because the business may not be sustainable. Imagine if you are opening a business and you only have 1 customer who is attracted to your product. That means that even if this customer buys a lot from you, there are certain aspects your business might not be able to fulfill. But this is with an exception, because I understand sometimes you may have a business idea or you may identify a market opportunity that whereby your customer is a government. Now you see, if your customer is government, that is one body government, you're satisfying a government, then chances are high your business it's most likely going to be sustainable. But when it comes to most of the businesses we do, if you only have one customer who you think can be attracted to your product, or a few, like handful of customers, then you really need to check before you really engage into that business. Now, another thing you will need to, let me just highlight this. When it comes to starting up a business or setting up a business, there are things you need to check on your end. You need to first of all see, with this business idea, how many work hours am I able to offer to the business? Is the business idea going to suit my lifestyle? And lastly, what is the paperwork needed for this business to be active? Now, a lot of you usually have very amazing business ideas. However, you don't check, or you may have identified a business market need, but you do not check it on these three lenses. Because when you identify a market need, the next thing you need to ask yourself is, how many work hours am I able to input into that business, and what kind of does this business suit my lifestyle? And the last thing is the paperwork. I'll give you an example. Maybe you identify a market need whereby you are required to import items from a certain country. Now, maybe this job requires you to put in full-time work hours. It also requires you to change your lifestyle. Maybe you're not a person who is, so good with sourcing goods and services. Then, if you go and launch this product without checking on these three things, you might find that you may employ someone, but they'll not be able to deliver because you yourself, the business idea that you're trying to satisfy, does not meet this threshold. Sometimes you find somebody wanting to start a business, but they don't check on the paperwork needed. So what happens? You find that the person has set up the business, and immediately, since he or she did not get the correct paperwork, the government comes after the person and the business is closed down within few months of opening. So before you can embark on actualizing your business idea, it's important for you to first of all check how many work hours are needed from your side to input in that business. You also need to check, does this business suit my lifestyle? I'll give an example on that. Let's say I believe we are all believers here. Now, if you go and start a business selling alcoholic beverages, trust me, this business is not suiting your lifestyle, because as a believer, you are not supposed to, be involved in such a business. So it will have a conflict. There will be conflict of interest between you as a person in character and the business itself. Of course, I've said on the paperwork, you need to check on the paperwork that is needed for a business idea. Now, the first thing you need, as I said, the first point you need to check on to identify if your business idea is viable is that you need to research your market. Researching your market, as I said, you need to know who are you going to sell your product to, and how many are they. Is the population, the potential customer base, enough to sustain a business? And this will help you a lot, because a lot of people, they start businesses but they don't research on the market. So what happens is that they find in the first few weeks they have like 10 customers who are sustaining them, but 3 months down the line, since they did not know, they did not research and verify if the potential customer base is worthy to sustain the business, they don't have customers for like 5 months. So that clearly tells you this business was not viable, because this person did not first of all, research the market to identify the customer base, the potential customer base that he or she might be having. Now, how do you get to research a market? To be able to research a market, there are 7 things you need to check on, which we shall be discussing today. We shall just focus on them. The first one is customers. Identifying a market need is very important, but it's very crucial for you to know who your customer is, who will buy your products, how many, and what particular need will you meet. You need to identify who your customer is. As I always say, an entrepreneur is somebody who is able to meticulously define his or her customer. You cannot tell me that you're selling your products to everyone. There is nothing like everyone when it comes to marketplace. When it comes to the marketplace, the thing is you need to be very meticulous in describing or defining who your customer is. An example will be, my customers are youth age 18 to 36. Maybe you can say both genders, male and female. Then you can go down and say they are people who are within a certain income bracket, or middle class or high class or low class. Then you can go down and say they are people who are always using certain items. So you see, when you are able to break down your customers like that, then that makes your business idea to be viable, because now you know who will buy your products, how many of them, how many potential customers you will have, and what particular need you will meet. The second one is to be able to carry out a good market research, you need to identify who your competitors are. Now, this is a very important aspect when it comes to testing if your business idea is viable, because when you identify who your competitors are, you'll be able to know who you're competing against. You'll also be able to check on their strengths and weaknesses. Now, this segment of competitors, we usually, in my business consultancy, I usually carry out what I call competitor analysis. Now, a competitor analysis is whereby you check the competitor of your business. Then you see, of course, if somebody is your competitor, they are offering the same product and service you're offering. Now you need to check what is their weakness and what is their strength. Now, competitor analysis is actually a strategy that will help you penetrate a market very easily. You may ask, how do I penetrate the market? When you carry out a competitor analysis, when you check on their weaknesses, as a potential business person, you might decide that as you enter the market, you will seek to fulfill the weakness the competitor is showing. So automatically you will attract the customers from the competitor's side, because you are satisfying a weakness that the competitor is not able to satisfy. Remember, you're still fulfilling the need. I'll give you an example. If you identify that let's say you want to start a salon business, right, where you make people's hair. The thing you need to do, maybe you've identified in your locality there is only one salon, and the people are many, so you've seen like there are a lot of ladies who need their hairs to be plaited, but there's only one salon. So what you'll do, number one, you've already identified a market need. Number two, you've already known who your customers are. Now, number three, what you'll do, you'll have to check what is happening in the salon that is currently there. You may find that in the existing salon, their customer service is bad. Now, what you will do to be able to see if your business idea will be viable, you will seek to offer excellent customer service. Remember, you'll both have salons in the same locality, but since you will have done this you will have done this test, and you will have identified that your competitor's weakness is in customer service. Now it will make your idea to be viable, because you'll now get in the market with an aim of fulfilling the weakness that the competitor is showing, which in turn will lead more customers towards you. Have you ever wondered why is it that there are certain businesses, once they enter the market, customers from existing businesses that maybe could have been next door, they shift to the new business? The thing is, it's not that just because it's a new business, chances are very high this new business has identified the weakness of their competitor, and they are now using it to get customers come to them. So when it comes to checking on the viability of your business idea, it's important for you to see what your competitors are doing. First of all, you have to know who your competitor is. Then you need to check on their strengths and weaknesses. Now again, this is an exception, because I believe there are business ideas that don't have competitors. So you will be lucky if your business idea does not have a competitor. Example, maybe you are abroad, and the country you are in, maybe you are not the only African, but there is no African restaurant there. So which means your African restaurant will be very unique, and there will be no competitor there. But in such a scenario, the chances are high there is that degree competitor. For that one, maybe we can schedule a session where I can teach you on what it means to have a third degree competitor. This is a competitor that does not really compete with you, but there are certain aspects they have that could pose as a threat to your business. So I understand there are localities, or there are certain business ideas you might be having that you do not have a competitor. So in such a case, you need to check on your third degree competitor and see what they are doing, and what they could be, what kind of weakness they could be having, that you could be using it to make your business idea more viable. And of course, once you execute your business, it will become more sustainable in the market. The third tip, or the third point that you need to use to check the viability of your business, is the products and services. Now, you have identified a market need. Congratulations. You've carried out your market research, and now you have identified who your customer is. You've identified who your competitors are and what are their strengths and weaknesses. Now the third thing you need to check is the products and service you're going to offer. Now when it comes to checking the product and service, what you need to check is how will you tailor your product to give you a market edge. I'll say it again. You need to check on your product or service. Now, when it comes to checking on your product or service, you need to know, how will I tailor my products or services to give me a market edge? Most of the time, as I said, the business need that will satisfy in a marketplace, it's already existing. But for you to be able to know if this idea will be viable in that market, you need to look at your product or service. and see how will I make it to be, how will I give it a wow factor in the market. Remember, in a marketplace, like let's say if you're planning to start something online, like on Facebook, there are a lot of people offering the same service or product. Now, how will you make yours to give you an entry, to be to give you a market edge on top of others? It could be as simple as painting your products. It could be as simple as maybe going the extra mile to customize your products. So if somebody wants to buy, let's say you're planning to start an online clothing shop or just a clothing shop, and maybe let's say the turkey dresses. Now what you can do is that you can make your product, you can customize it such that if normally we maybe where you are so used to walking into a shop, you see the turkey dresses just hang there, then you choose, then they put it in a very funny wrapper, then they give it to you. Now if you're planning to enter into such a market, what you need to check is, how will I make my turkey dresses to be so attractive, such that if a customer buys from me, he or she will go and tell their friends, their family, their village mates, their colleagues. With the example of turkey dresses, since you'll have identified that most shops, they just wrap it up to you, like just go, you can decide to maybe offer some better gifting, maybe a customized bag, such that if somebody buys that dress from you, the bag they get makes it to look more classy and luxurious. By doing that, you are giving yourself an opportunity to have a market edge in that business idea. So when it comes to checking the viability of your business idea before you can execute it, it's important for you to check, how will I tailor my product such that it gives me an upper hand? How will I make it so wow, such that if somebody buys from me, they will go and tell somebody else, they will go and preach it out without even me having to carry out adverts. So we'll go to the fourth one. The fourth way you can check if your business idea is viable is the price. Now, you need to before you execute, you need to check what will be the price I will be offering my product or service, and will this price be seen by the market or by the customer as giving value for money, encouraging customer loyalty and referral. Now, this is where I usually have a problem with a lot of entrepreneurs in my Entrepreneurs Academy, because you find that somebody, since they are solving a certain problem in the market, or their idea is solving a certain problem in the market, the price they set, sometimes it's too high, such that it makes your potential customers shy away from you. Or sometimes you find that the price they put is too low, such that it makes the customer question, why would this thing be so low? Remember, a customer needs to see the value. They need to see the value for money. So when you are thinking about your business idea, think about the price of your products. Think what will be your price range. Do not be too high, do not be too low, but offer a price that will be able to give value for money and encourage your customers, be loyal to you, and of course give you referrals. Again, when it comes to price, locality matters. If, for example, you're planning to open a shop or an office in a high-end estate, if you go there and start offering prices for the slums, they will doubt it. In as much as your product is genuine and all that, there will be the customers there they might shy away because they will think, why is it so cheap? Maybe it's fake. So where you're going to look to set up your business, whether it's online or offline, you need to check on your price and ensure that the price you're giving is equivalent to the value of money the customer will get. I'll give you a story. Last week, a friend of mine, she was having a birthday, and she wanted to be made for a cake. Now this cake, she got a person who can do the cake. I think they met online. Now this baker said that my friend sent them a photo of the kind of cake they would want. Now this baker said, yeah, I can pull that kind of a cake. Now my friend asked, what's the price? And the person really quoted a very, very high price, and my friend didn't have a problem paying the price because she believed she's going to get the value for her money. She believed that the baker would pull out the cake design she wanted. Now fast forward, on the material day or the day of the birthday, so she asked the baker to arrange for logistics for the cake to be sent to her. But before then, she asked for a picture of what the baker had made. And shock on you, the baker had made a very, very terrible cake. Now what clearly came out is that my friend was not getting the value for her money. And of course it did not end up well, because the baker did not give the value for her money. So when you are setting a price, check on your skills, check on what you can offer. Please don't quote a high price because you're becoming greedy or because you want to make a kill. Set prices based on the markets and see if you can deliver such that your customer gets value for their money. Trust me, if you make your customer get value for their money, it's just a matter of time. They will start referring you to their friends. They will be loyal to you. They will be coming back. I always say, if a business does not have a repeat customer, with an exception to some, then that could be an indicator that something is not going on well. Now, if you are already in business, ask yourself, why is it that I don't have repeat customers? Is it that my customers don't like my products? Is it that my services are not good? Is it that my prices are too high that they are getting a cheaper price somewhere else? You need to check on that. As I said, that is with an exception, because there are services that the customer needs only once. For example, you only need let's say you only need a passport once. So if I am a broker or a person who helps people get their passports, I believe my customer will need the passport once. Then after maybe 10 years or 5 years, that's when they'll need another one and they'll seek my service. So that in such a scenario, we don't expect to have repeat customers frequently. However, such customers can refer other people to your service. So ensure your price, check on the price such that it will help you know if your business idea is viable or not viable. So I'll take a break so that we can come back and finish the other 3 points, and I'll also be reading your comments. So if you have any questions so far, you can feel free to ask right now. Remember, we are discussing on how to identify if your business idea is viable. So if you have any questions, just keep them coming. I will be reading them. And meanwhile, let me just have a cup of water. Then we can go on to the remaining part. Keep your questions coming. I will be answering them towards the end. So keep on coming up with your questions. Keep on writing them so that we can get to answer them together. So the other, we'll get back to it. The fifth way you can check if your business idea is viable, you need to check on the method, on the advertising and promotional materials. Now, we've said that the tools you can use to check on the viability of your business, the first one was identifying your customer. The second one was you need to know your competitors. The third one was product, and the fourth one was price. Now the fifth one is advertising and promotional materials. Now you need to ask yourself, with this business idea, what tools do my potential customers use or read such that I can use them to advertise or market my product? Or you can also ask yourself, where are my customers going to be such that when I go to advertise, I will use a certain advertising tool to be able to reach my potential customers. Now, let's say if your business is, if your potential customers are physical customers, like they are customers who are within your locality, you may not need to advertise on Facebook that much, but you will need to advertise. You may not need to advertise on Facebook and other social media accounts, but you will need to advertise more on physical locations, like using billboards, using posters, using brand, what do we call them, brand ambassadors, or using trucks to advertise your product. So on the other hand, if most of your customers are going to be using social media, then it's important for you to come up with materials or promotional materials that are customized for social media more than physical advertising. Now, example, if I'm going to start an online clothing shop, my customers could be widespread. They could be throughout the world, all over the world. So how will I reach them? To be honest, a billboard will not help me, because if I'm putting a billboard, I'll need to put a billboard in a certain city, and my customers are spread globally. Now what I will do, I will use online tools. Like I will advertise on my website, I will advertise on my social media accounts, that is Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Telegram, Snapchat, whichever account that works for you. You will advertise where your customers are most likely to spend their time on. The same applies if I am a farmer, or I'm planning to start farming, and or let's say if I'm planning to be a middleman between farmers and factories. I have no business advertising my services online, yet my customers are the farmers who are in a certain locality. Although this is not limited, because there are farmers that could be online and they can within that locality, so you might need to advertise both online and offline. So you need to identify what advertising and promotional materials that you will be needing to make sure your business idea is successful before executing. Another thing, how to analyze the advertising and promotional materials to use. Analyze what kind of messages influence people to buy rather than just likes. Now, this one I'm addressing especially brand ambassadors and people who, you have a lot of followers on your social media accounts. Now, let's say you having like, if you post an item and you have like 4,000 likes with 0 sales, it's not, in business we say it's not really it's not valuable, or it's not bringing in the revenue that is needed, because you need revenue or income from the customers and not likes. You cannot convert 4K likes to pay your electricity bill. So you need to check what kind of content will give me sales conversion more than likes. We have seen other people, or you may have seen, especially for people like me, I really like to talk about my business on social media. You may see that sometimes you make a comment, or sorry, you make a post and it doesn't get any like, but on that day you get a lot of inquiries that you are able to translate them into a sales conversion. What does that tell you? That tells you that the customer has seen your message and he or she has felt that this message is solving my problem, and they will go and get your product. So be very careful. Don't just use advertising and promotional materials for the sake of doing it. You also need to check on the sales conversion. Don't be excited by likes. Be excited by the sales conversion that your message or your advertising materials will bring to you. So I hope that is clear. You need to be able to know if your business idea is viable. It's very important to check on the advertising and promotional materials that you need to use. The sixth way is you need to check on the channel of distribution. Now, as I said, a business idea might sound so good on paper. It might sound so good when you tell others about it. But when you come to check if it is viable through this tip of the channel of distribution, you find that that business is not viable anymore. So channel of distribution simply means how will you get your product to your customers, and who do you need to help distribute your products. Answering how you'll get to your customers is very important. You may have a very amazing business idea. You may be satisfying a market need, but if you do not come up with a way you will distribute this product to your customer, then your business might fail, because your customers might not be able to get your products and services. Example, maybe you're planning to start let's say an online library that is targeting schools that are in the rural areas, whereby maybe they do not have internet. Now you need to think, what will be my channel of distribution in such a case? Will I need to have representative at the grassroots level who will be able to distribute these books, who will be able to reach out to the market I'm planning? So it's very important to identify how will you get to your customers, and and who do you need to distribute your product. Sometimes you need retailers, sometimes you need wholesalers to distribute your product. You need to know who will what your channel of distribution will be, so that you may be able to verify if your business idea is viable. Now the last point is location. Now location, this will be with an exception of not really an exception, but with an exception of online businesses. Now, as you have your business idea, you're planning to start it, you're so excited, you're pumped up, you're looking forward to getting things started. You need to know, where do you need to be to reach your clients easily at minimum cost? That is location. Where will I need to be so that my customers can find me easily at a minimum cost? Where do I need to be so that if I'm sending a delivery, the delivery cost will not be higher than the product price? I believe some of you have experienced this, that you buy a product maybe for $10, then the delivery price is $40. Then you're like, I'd rather not buy. Now, when you're trying to check if your business idea is viable, you need to look into location with the idea of, I need to get to my customers easily and at a minimum cost. Because remember, any cost you incur in your business, in one way or another, will have to be reflected in the price of the product or service. So your location matters. Again, if your business is more physical, location matters, because you might need a place where there's high traffic of people for you to be able to generate sales. And again, for the online businesses, your location will be in terms of your website. You need to ensure your potential customers can easily find your website. Your potential customers can easily find your Facebook page. Your potential customers can easily find your Instagram account. They can easily find your YouTube channel. And that is where the SEO comes in, the search engine optimization. Now, if you're planning to start your business online, you need to check on that or major on that, so that your online potential customers can easily find you on either social media platform they would be using or on your website. So with those 7 tips, if you check your business idea through those 7 tips, they will be able to tell you if your business idea is viable for the marketplace, or maybe you could be needing more time to get things together. We still have some more time where you can ask your questions. I believe we have like 5 minutes, so feel free to ask your question. I'll be trying my best to answer. So yes, if you have any question, just feel free to ask right now, as we are about to end the session. Remember, the topic for today is how to identify if your business idea is viable. I can see Mercy, you're saying following. Thank you so much for following. Vivian, you're saying you're watching with us. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you have any questions, just feel free to ask right now, as we are about to end this session. Meanwhile, I encourage you to click the link that is attached on this live session, so that you can subscribe to our YouTube channel and get to watch more videos on business management and money management, so that you can empower yourself. Also, you may follow me on Instagram at Financial Wellness Center, and most of all, you can like our Facebook page, Financial Wellness Center, for real-time updates on money management, business management, and of course investment tips. So yeah, we still have some few minutes. Feel free to ask your questions. Remember, I've said the 7 things that you need to check on to determine if your business idea is viable. The first one is you need to check on your customers. The second one, you need to check on your competitors. The third one, you need to check on your product. Fourth, you need to check on your price. Number 5, you need to check on the advertising and promotional materials. The 6th one, you need to check on the channel of distribution. And the last one is your location, whether physically or online. I've said for online businesses, it's important for you to learn about search engine optimization. I believe digital consultants will be able to help you. Best of all, you can choose to take a course on digital training, so that you can get to understand the dynamics of search engine optimization. Keep on asking, writing down your questions. If you have any questions, just feel free to ask right away before we end today's live session. So I believe so far we have all understood what a business idea is, and I believe from this part 1 and part 2, once you watch part 1 and part 2, I believe you will now be able to identify a market's need, or be able to know which problem you can solve within your market of interest. Then once you have identified a market's need, you will now bring this need to test it if it will be viable in the market using these 7 tips. Once you've done that, I can guarantee you you will be set to go. And trust me, it may take a while before the business picks up, but within a period of time, your business will be able to pick up because you'll have laid the right foundations. So if you need any further guidance on the same, business management, business consultancy, feel free to reach out to me either through direct messages, that is DM, or you can write me on our Facebook page, Financial Wellness Center, or either way you can send me an email on info@financialwellnesscenter.co.ke. Until then, I pray that you have benefited from this session, and I believe that you're going to put them into action and become a successful entrepreneur by the grace of God. So I'll see you next Friday, God willing, and I would encourage us to keep on staying safe. Ensure you wear a mask if you're going outside, and of course if you're going to a market, please try your best and wear gloves so that we can try and contain this pandemic as we trust God for a long-lasting solution. So until then, God bless you, and do have a great weekend ahead.